Did you listen to Jeff and Professor Hamo in the morning? Here's what you missed.
Fredrick Ogweno. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. It's nice being here today. And I count it a very great honor even to be invited by you to be here today, to be able to share my story and our story, the story of IRPN with the people of Kenya.
You know, your story, and Fredrick, I'm glad you brought it up because people forget very easily.
Oh, yes.
People forget that in 2007, this could have been another Rwanda.
Oh, it was.
And you experienced it yourself. Tell us about it.
Jeff, in 2007, I just finished high school. I think that was now 2008.
Okay.
And I come from the border between Nyamira and Hamo Bay County. So linguistically, I speak Luo, or I'm a Luo by language, but by geographically, I'm found in Nyamira, or we are found in Nyamira. So we are a small community of about 3,000 people found in Nyamira district, but speaking Luo.
Okay.
So now, at the peak of the post-election violence, we had a small market at the center that we share. It's shared by the two communities.
Okay.
So when things were very hot, and I remember we could not find a place to run because when we tried to run to be associated with the Kisses, they called us Abagere. I mean, meaning we are Luos.
Yes.
And then when we also tried to be associated with the Luos, they said, no, these are Kisses. So we had no place to run. So when the rumors were coming in the evening that we were going to be attacked, we did not know who exactly was going to attack us and where we were going to run to. So we could only find a refuge in a school. Until to date, I remember until today that market is no longer there. It was really affected a great deal. It was a market that used to be very huge, but because of the conflict at that time. Now I remember at that time there was an IDP camp at a place called Ekerenyo. Ekerenyo is found in Nyamira district, about 20 kilometers from our place. And most of those who were affected there were Kisses who had been driven from their homes in Kericho tea plantations. And it happened that that is where I schooled. I used to live with my dad during my primary school at Kericho at Kapwene Estate, where you was picking tea, helping Zed over the weekend, you know, like that, before I went to high school. So after high school now, when things were very hot, I decided to visit this place because I said that I'm not going to wait until there's some IDPs in South Sudan to go and visit them. Let me go and see what is happening. When I went there, the situation was extremely horrible. What I saw there changed my life to date.
And where were these refugees from?
They were from Kericho, most of them from Kericho tea plantations. And you know, they were driven there. So when we first arrived there were so many tents there which I had not seen because I just finished Form 4 and you know, seeing people there at their lowest, and then it was also raining. So I had not seen such kind of a life before.
Matope,
uchafu, and then you find inside that tent kuna watu kama a whole family, you know, a small tent. So hata tukujua how do we begin. So I remember praying with a friend of mine because we had gone there, I mean by some bicycle there. Now that was the first time. The first time I just listened to their stories. Then the second time I said that I'm now going to mobilize my villagers, so that my village members, to see if we can raise some clothes, if we can get some firewood, because those are the things that they needed the most. If we could get some sweet potatoes, you know, because where I come from there's a lot of sweet potatoes and I remember doing that, some people mocking me in the village, telling me, oh, you are going to get those people, I mean, help them, those people who are getting, they are not genuine there, you know, those people there. Then I remember getting into one tent, and the first person I met there was a lady who was my desk mate.
Wow. In school?
In school, in class 4, called Maximila Komboka, if I may mention the name.
Yes.
Then she's there with a mother. Then after 2 minutes I'm told, oh, do you remember Edna, that lady who used to play football, and that beautiful girl? Their tent is just next there. So then I learned, oh, these are the people that we used to be together.
Yes.
Then when I moved, I saw another mzee who used to run some shop there, you know, and could be considered rich, you know, at that time.
Yes.
And then everything, they had nothing. Then when I looked at this lady called Edna, I learned that she was just wearing some skirt, but again, she was not having some inner clothing, and then this skirt is also torn, so she's barely naked.
Yes.
And you know, this a girl who is over 18 years, and she's having 2 babies with the mother here, with the father, and they're sleeping inside this same tent. So you could imagine the situation there. Then I began listening to them. Then I remember one they called me, told me, my son, God has sent you here. You may not give me anything, but I just want you to listen to my story. I slept on top of a tree for 3 days. Kwa msitu. And some, you know, the young men were chasing us. They were baying for our blood. They wanted to finish us completely. So as they were chasing us, nikapanda juu ya mti, and I could see them huko wakitufuata na mbwa. They'd killed my family. That I'm the only person who was remaining. So then he told me, then what could I do at that point? I had to sleep there because every day they could pass there, think that some mzee amejificha hapa. And then
walikuwa na umbwa.
So wanaofuata na umbwa na mshale. You know, they have already killed the whole family. So this is the one only person remaining here that he does not even think about food. You know, he only thinks about finding someone to share with the story.
3 days.
Now he told me that there is also another gentleman that he saved because he was around 16 years. Ilimbidi amvalishe nguo ya msichana because they were the boys, they were killing about, the boys,
the young men.
Yes. So akamvalisha nguo ya msichana, you know, dressed the young boy so that he could be able to survive and pass through the roadblocks that they mounted there. Then this they told me that it is some old Kalenjin man who came and saved him when he saw him driving with a vehicle, driving his vehicle, and asked him that, do you remember me? And then this gentleman akamchukua na akampeleka kwa nyumba yake na kumhide huko for another 2 days before he could now run to the chief's camp where they were rescued. Just to mention, the stories were very horrible there. I remember this young woman who was telling me that she had lost everything. She had lost everything, and the only thing that she could remember at that time was she had 3 kids. She had 3 kids, and one was missing actually at that time because they were running to different camps, you know, so that they could get to they could go to the police police stations. Then they get collected together. Then they come. Those stories, I said that if this is really what happened, then we cannot sit by the fence. But before that, let me bring you now to my own story. My own mother, my own biological mother, I thank God she still lives, was nearly raped by GSU officers in Kayole, Soweto, Kayole. At that time, my older brother was having some problem, you know, with the family and with the wife. And then my mom had to come, you know, the feeling of them, the mother, that let me just go and save and hear what is happening there. Then in Soweto estate at around saa 9 usiku, these the officers were flashing out, you know, the illegal groups. Mungiki was very notorious at that time. Then they broke into her Mabati house to find this old woman there, and then it is my nephew, the young girl, who saved her. He said, no, please don't touch Shosho. Then they learned, oh, this is an old woman. Because she had already been everything. They were almost removing all the clothes. My mother could not take another night in Nairobi. And she said, I will never come back to Nairobi. That same morning, she was able to pack and come back, even before finishing the business that had brought her there. Then after 2 days, when she was now sharing us the horrible stories, what happened there, she said that, my sons, it could be a very different story there. Then that came as a challenge to me. Having seen what happened at the IDP camps, having seen where we had no place to run to, because everyone is baying from our blood, we cannot run, and getting the stories of the things that were happening within the country. And now here is my own mother, which we do not know, you know, because we could hear of such stories, you know, rape happening, and you could not even know whether these people are real GSU or they are also these illegal gangs that are doing these things, you know.
So, listen, Fredrick, let's fast forward a little bit, right?
Yes.
So we get to the 2012 elections. They were disputed as well. People forgot about 2007, 2008.
Yes.
You get to 2017 and people have completely forgotten. And we were going down that road again. What is it about us that our memories are so short-sighted that we simply quickly forget things? What is it?
I think even in 2017 it was not purely peaceful. because there are people who lost their lives. If you look at the reports that were compiled by different organizations, with some we were partnering with, there are reports that over 300 women were raped, all these things, but we cannot ascertain. Whether it is only one single woman, Jeff, who is raped, whether it is only one person who is killed, and we know that there are more than 2 who were killed, whether by security officers, whether by legal gangs, at this point we do not want to know. The only thing that we know that things were not very good. It might have not reached the level that we reached in 2007. Now, I think...
And look at the likes of Baby Pedo.
Look at that.
People like that.
People like that.
Yes.
People like Mora,
Yes.
Correct. Yes. So, whether it is only one life, there is no person who should lose his life or a property for anybody to retain power or for anybody to ascend to power until we are able to reach to that. Unfortunately, Jeff, the kind of our politics thrives in that. Thrives in ethnicity, thrives in ethnic balkanization. We have come to a point that unless we are able to balkanize our people ethnically, we are not able to succeed, or politically. That is why even now you hear some rumors, some gangs coming up, some gangs, a lot of regroupings. So we tend to forget fast. We tend to try to assume that we've forgotten, even though we have not forgotten. There are some of the things that at times these things, the community are forced, or the communities are forced to find themselves in such situations because of these kind of things that, you would want to be associated with power. We want to be associated with our people. People do not know. If I may give you a very notable example, when devolution came, Jeff, this thing was a very good thing, and we all believe that it's going to change because part of the problems we've been having is resources, equitable distribution of resources. Then we said, okay, let us distribute this thing, let it go. If you go to the counties, you realize there are also problems. There is marginalization. So until we are able to celebrate the real success of devolution from how the lives of people have been changed, not by the number of condoms that are being distributed ahead or in the city where we are supposed to be having a devolution conference. We cannot measure the success of the evolution by that, because what that means is that there's money in so many delegates that are going to attend there to probably spend on some extra conference activities, because there's a lot of money floating down there. When this is happening, if you go to a place where you realize that maybe a governor is being accused of having embezzled 2 billion, Jeff, do you really need 2 billion?
For what?
For what? For what? Part of the reason why now we are changing our currencies is because of the culture of primitive accumulation. The culture of primitive accumulation is what has made people now to heap, the banks, a lot of notes in their homes.
Absolutely.
So they think that we will use this to control people. So until we are able to deviate from that culture of primitive accumulation and know that you can as well have little. Yes, we've done a lot at IRPN without foreign funding. Every time you are doing something, the first thing people ask you, who is funding you?
Right.
They do not think about what can you do for your people. We have touched thousands of lives from our pockets. We have touched thousands of lives from volunteers. We have touched thousands of lives from people who have just decided, no, we are not going to sit by the fence. I remember after the Garissa attack, Jeff, I was in Malindi working with some international organization there, and that is when I was now resigning to come to spearhead interregional peace network, when we had lost quite a lot of our university students in that horrible thing. About 150. And there were a lot of a lot of intelligence information had it that a lot of our young people in the universities were being recruited. Then we ask ourselves, how about if it was me? I thank God I survived. How about if it was your daughter? How about if it was your daughter that was butchered there? Then we began this Beyond Tribe. This campaign, the first one we held at KU. It was overwhelming. Now training these people, knowing that this thing is not too far from them. Because if you look those violent extremist groups, they come for the best brains.
Yes.
They come for the best brains. And those best brains are very dangerous. It is those best brains that are now being used to come back and attack us. Now, if you also if I come back to your question that why do we tend to forget so fast? It is very easy to deal with the poor people. to manipulate them. That is why politicians would want so many of them to be produced. I remember we were running some program last year of trying to reach out to this border community, who have now become a very big menace because a lot of crime are associated with them.
Correct.
Then we say, for example, if you come from where I come from, politicians giving those people borders is not helping them. Because number one, they are dying because of recklessness. Secondly, economically, it is not even viable. Because what that young man does when he gets a motorbike, the first thing is to add a second wife. And if he fails to add a second wife, this is by research, he will be at some market center in the morning playing ajua. I know you know ajua. Playing ajua and giving someone to do what they call a squad, thinking that he's already rich. Tomorrow does not know that this thing is wearing and tearing off. So back to stealing. We ask them, why can't we train these people with the money that we are having at the county level? We are able to bring in financial institutions so that, because where this young man is coming from, there is some river passing down there. Why can they grow some sukuma wiki? And because they already have 400 per day, can spare 200 for this young person, so that they're able to irrigate this thing, pay someone to do that. Within 2 months, is supplying this thing to schools around. But take that idea to the county, you will take 3 years before you meet a governor.
Yes. Lord.
So Jeff, until we are able to deal with the root cause of these things,
Which is poverty.
poverty, which is frustrations and unemployment, high level of young people. We were just launching another group, another program about 2 weeks ago, Linda Maisha campaign, that is aimed at reaching out to young people. A campaign that is aimed at reducing this violence that we are seeing at the society level, at the family level. Someone just waking up and butchering a colleague, because we are no longer our brother's keeper. We no longer take care of one another. You will come here in the morning, Prof, and you will find a colleague is having a cup of tea like this, and is not taking it, it's just sleeping like this, but you will not be bothered, because you don't know, you don't know. If you are able to ask him, come on, what is happening?
Are you okay?
Are you okay? But nobody seems to be caring about what is happening in another person's life. So number one root cause of this thing is poverty and unemployment. And we keep on saying that it is a time bomb. Surely it is, and the time is coming when we will not be able to get out of it.
And we're not doing anything about it.
Yes, and we're not doing anything about it.
What makes you do something about it, Fredrick? What makes you do it? What makes you even care?
Jeff, I believe that there is a reason why God created us, and we all have a purpose to do in life. I believe that once you were born, what remains is to do what you are supposed to be doing at that time. Given what I went through, given the humble background that I've come from, I've told you that I used to help my dad over the weekend picking tea in Kareithi, picking tea. It could be child labor. But because there's one person that needs to take us to school, so I have to help him to do that. Yeah. My mother used to do what we call barter trade, He could have some donkey, and then putting some things, and then going even for a whole week deep in Kisiland to go and sell, to take goods from this end and to the other things. I believe I'm one person that I do not believe in sitting by the fence when there is a problem. And I do not believe in complaining. I remember when we had an audience, when the former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga, invited me in his office in 1st December 2016, after we had launched the Beyond Tribe One Nation campaign. Then they were also worried. That's when I also learned that even politicians, some of them are also good meaning. They're also worried when things may go out of their way. Then he says that, no, I love what you are doing. I'm able to have a brief there. Then I learned. And do you know, Jeff, what happened? When I was leaving his office, I had just come for that meeting from a funeral. The only money I had when I was going to see the former PM was my fare, Picky. And here I'm meeting the man walking into the office telling me, shoot. Walking into the office and he tells me, shoot, go direct to the point.
Yes.
Go there is no time. But we ended up speaking for more than 30 minutes.
Wow.
And he had no time. So that touched my life. Here I came without a single penny in my pocket. Yes. Because I I had resigned from my job when I was now coming to fully dedicate my time for Interregional Peace Network, because you cannot balance these things. No one will be able to, that you spend a lot of time there, moving around, in forums and organizing these things. So I have been driven by seeing lives change, by seeing lives being touched. After the forum that we had at Mo University during that time, they had a lot of problem when Professor Hiro was, being asked to leave because of he was not favored ethnically.
Yes.
So we decided to do a program there, dubbed Beyond Tribe, with over 300 students that we trained. I remember we were together with NCIT and all these things, and then giving them certificates after that so that they can take the message. One thing touched me. A student who comes from the border between Muhoroni and Nandi, there has been a lot of conflict there, wrote to us that thank you for coming. I really learned a lot and benefited. Over the last 2 decades, I've witnessed and seen my relatives being butchered, being killed, and I had vowed to retaliate. But now, after what I heard yesterday, I'm willing to take this message back to the community and talk to the young people. When you feel and see such kind of a message after hearts are being changed, you feel good. When we were moving, Jeff, to Soweto, I had to go back and do a program in Soweto because of what happened to my mother. Ahead of the 2017 election, in Soweto Social Hall there, and reaching out to the communities. I had moved to Dandora. We were reaching out to the community-based organizations there, working with the youth there, telling them that we are human beings, and that beneath the skin, we are all the same, regardless of your race, regardless of your tribe, regardless of where you come from. Beneath the skin, we are all the same. What is down here is only blood. So all these languages that we speak and all these things do not matter. And what keeps me going is seeing lives changed, seeing lives being touched, seeing someone who was about to do something bad says, a young man says, no, out of the program that we had, my life has been changed. Like now, on 5th, I'm expecting some guests from New York who have been touched by things that we have been doing. And one will be coming, an adjunct professor from Harvard University, who is now coming. And what are we going to do? Instead of coming them just visiting me and talking, seeing how we can partner, we are organizing for a summit with over 100 young people in the age of 15 to 22, so that we see how can we be able to shape the thinking of these young people away from ethnic balkanization, away from going to school and thinking that they will get jobs which are not there. How can they enhance their creativity and innovation that we hear people just talking about, but they do not give these people platform.
But Fredrick, let me ask you this, and this is an incredible story. The tweets are coming in so thick and fast. Collins Ogweno says, my goodness, Fredrick, you're not just an ordinary person, but you are great, my brother. You are great.
Thank you, I'm humbled.
Oli Moo, all the way from Calgary, Canada. She says, so sad. Thank you. Thank God you survived. Never again. George Jalango says, this story brings tears back to my eyes because I remember close people whom I lost during the post-election.
Very painful.
Very painful, George, Fredrick. But the question is,
yes.
We're heading towards 2022.
Yes.
Eyes wide open. And you can see what's happening.
Jeff.
You can see the divide and rule. Balkanization, as you talk about it. Mtu wetu mentality.
That's
happening.
The people, when we went through 2007,
yes.
People, you could literally walk next to a corpse and feel nothing. At you see wetu, it's not a body. And it will lie there 3 days. And nobody talked about it. Are we still waiting? Are we still angry? And we are not dealing with those emotions.
Is it a ticking time bomb?
We are just waiting for another.
Jeff, let me say that unlike many others, personally I'm not privileged to having married from my own community. My wife is from Embu. And Embu is so closely associated with our brothers from Central.
Correct.
And I come from Nyanza. So one of the reasons why it worries me is that I remember during the 2007, even the cases that were married to Luos people had to separate.
Yeah.
You know,
Man from
some,
wife.
yes, some
Husband
people
from-
might be enjoying. That is the time that my villagers will be able to see my son as a son who is born to a Kikuyu woman.
Yes.
You know, that is the time that they will be able to see. All this time they have not been seeing my wife as a Hindu person, but they will be able to see her
All of a sudden.
during that time.
All of a sudden.
So, Jeff, what worries you is very genuine because we haven't learned from what happened in 2007. In fact, we are worse. If you
Yes.
look at the levels of ethnic hatred, I mean, hatred is very much higher than even where it was in 2007. If you look at how things are building up, I know that a referendum will come and it will pass. It will come and it will pass because the big two are together and they are likely to support it.
Yes.
And you know, and it was the things are just going to be building the same way it is.
Yes.
And even if you look at what we are saying that can really help us, I mean, bring some change at the executive level there. You know, they're just political gimmicks, Jeff. These things we have been there, we just go around. After this referendum has come 10 years again, we're able to change it, probably get back to where we are right now.
Right.
So, we have every reason to worry. But at least there is hope. That there is some young man, some young woman, there's some old woman who has decided somewhere in some village in Muranga, in some village in Kisumu, who has decided that is not going to sit by the fence, is not going just to watch, but at least do something about it. And I also pray that this time round, the church will not, put us where they put us in 2007. I believe that they're not going to be left with some eggs in the eye, you know, like it happened. So it's a collective responsibility. It is a responsibility that we cannot leave to the political class alone. And it does not mean that we have to do, reach millions set ago. Just from that small, in the village where that young man is coming from, if Jeff says, no, this platform that I'm having, this network that I'm having, because how many of us have, a huge followings on social media, huge followings on Twitter and on Facebook. What do we post there? What do we post there? It reaches a level whereby even a pastor and even the bishops begin to become the bishops of NASA, you know, and they are prophesying how the NASA congregants are entering heaven and how the Jubilee congregants are entering heaven, until we are able to come beyond this thing and come back to full realization. You know what happened with Rwanda? Unfortunately, it was good. Because I'm not saying that it was good that it happened, but they were able to do it to an extent that they felt that they did not need it anymore.
So,
For us, we feel like we did it and we still need to
we
do
were
it.
stopped
We were
at some point
we
just before.
we want to go over the cliff.
Yes. That's what we
want to do.
Yes,
Yes.
tumalize kabisa.
Yeah.
Yes, that is what many people think that we need to be getting there. Jeff, until you are in a position of running for your life, even for a second, you will value. When you are praying that God, just give me a second chance. I just need a second chance. When you are praying, please do not butcher me, as they are removing you from that bus. Not because you have stolen from someone, not because you've made any criminal, you've committed any criminal offense, but because of your ethnicity, but because you are Ogweno, because you are Kipkali or someone, because you are Mutua or someone, just because of that. That is the only sin that you did. To be born of a Kikuyu mother or a Kikuyu man. To be born of a... That is the only sin that we did. So right now we are pretending. And we are pretending. A lot of pretense, but we are headed there again. I can tell you. Unless something is done about it. Unless we're able to change our minds.
Yes. Fredrick,
we are headed there.
I know a lot of people want to get in touch with you because this peace initiative that you started is called Inter-Regional Peace Network,
Yes.
IRPN.
Yes.
And Fredrick is the executive director. How do people get in touch with you, Fredrick?
People can get in touch with me through, we have got a Facebook page, we have got a website, that is www.irpn.or.ke. Then my numbers are also open because I'm like a public servant, you know. You
pastor.
Yes, I'm like a public servant.
Yes.
My numbers are the official number, I may give the official number, which is 07 80 98 97 9734. Again, 0780989734. And then we can see what we're able to do together.
Yeah.
But I want to challenge everybody outside there. Please do not sit by the fence. Please do not wait until your own brother is affected. Because by the time they are done with your brother, you may not be there because they will have finished with you. So do not wait. Do not celebrate when you see some ethnic and the kind of conversation on social media. Do not celebrate because you do not know that what you are celebrating might be at your doorstep. There is something that you can do about it. Even if you're only able to change 2 lives, even if you're only able to change 2 lives, and particularly the young people. Yes.
Again, if you want to get in touch with Fredrick Ogweno, he's given out his number 0780-989-734.
Yes.
989-734, or you can go to their website www.irpn.or.ke. Inter-Regional Peace Network. Tweets coming in thick and fast. There's a classmate of yours called Tony Ogutu.
Oh, I remember Tony.
Anthony Ogutu.
Anthony Ogutu, I remember Anthony.
He says, well done, classmate. Indeed, there is hope. Keep on keeping on, bro.
I appreciate Tony.
Gongu Kiarie. There he is. He says, if only there were 100 Fredricks, Kenya would be a better place to live. Doing little things in a big way. Philip Kiprotich from Moy University in Eldoret. He says, let us preach peace where we are, in schools, jobs, sports, as we approach 2022. Moses Torore says, great story, Fredrick. Oh my God, your message is crystal clear. Big up. And these are young people, Fredrick. These are young people. And I know they are worried because the signs are there. And the politician's job is just to keep stirring, keep stirring. Carly, all the way from Seattle, Washington, says, thank you for your amazing story, Fredrick. We are inspired.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Okite Master Charles says, Fredrick Okango is a man to listen to. Fredrick Ogweno is a man to listen to. He used to encourage and motivate us back in the village. He was a great head boy and Christian Union chairperson.
Yes, I was.
Oh. Well done, Fredrick. I mean, this is the message we need to hear over and over again. Because they say, if you don't pay attention to history, those who ignore history are bound to repeat it.
Exactly. And when they repeat it, there'll be no more. To see it how it happens.
Yeah.
To see it how it happens.
You said in Rwanda they had these courts where you come and
called Gashashe courts.
Yes.
Later on, after a million people are killed by your neighbor.
Imagine.
These corpses you're passing, they say, Sindiyu, ni Hamo. So they call you into the village. And if you admit that you killed, then you'd be you'd be forgiven or given a small sentence.
Okay.
Can you imagine?
But it is therapeutic. You talk about it, you know.
Yes.
And I guess that is why Rwanda is not going back there.
Exactly.
But Sisi,
we are in denial.
Yeah.
Fredrick, we are in denial.
Exactly.
Come out,
and people have not healed. People have not healed.
Yeah.
People
It's
have
very
not
dangerous
healed.
because when people have not healed, the only thing that comes at the back of their mind is revenge.
Yes.
So there are probably many people will be waiting for the opportunity to revenge. It would be very important for people to heal, and this is why I'm calling out for even people outside there that we need to team up. Some of the people who suffered have not even gotten counseling. You know, no one has followed up. You look at the story of this great lady from Kiambaa that we were seeing last year. If you were reading what was happening, that until the time of her death, she never got a therapeutic assistance. Psychological assistance. Nobody went there. The story was only aired and all these things until the time of death. And remember, she was raped. She lost her son, in that. Then you expect life to be normal for that woman? No. And then you respect that, you just expect things to go the way they are. So, number one, people need to appreciate there's a problem. I like it the way you are bringing it. That 2022 there will be a problem. There will be a problem.
Yes.
We cannot lie about
We're
that.
walking into it, Fredrick, eyes wide open. We can see it.
Yes.
But what do we do?
And building it.
And building it.
enjoying walking there. Enjoying. And when you add to the fact that there are those who were affected in 2007 who have not healed, whom some of them are just waiting for the opportunity to revenge for the blood of their sisters, for the blood of their mothers, for their their girlfriends who were raped, and as they were watching. So these people are still there. Then plus a lot of things that have happened here, people consider themselves a betrayal. A lot of these things are things that are in public domain.
Yes.
We cannot hide and try to assume that they have. So that is why it is important for something to be done, and the best way to do it is reaching out to the young people, because if you change the mind of the young people in class 6, if you change the mind of the young people in high school, that's why we have been targeting, even the forum that we are having, the summit that we are having with the youth on 5th August is targeting the young people, the age of 15, sometimes even to 12, because when you are able to change their minds, then even the politicians will just be trying to find out they are able to manipulate them, but they will not succeed.
Where is this forum? Where is it?
The forum will be having at Amnesty International headquarters. I thank God for my friend Hungu Houghton, who has also come into
Good guy.
a very great man. He's offered us the all there, and then we are also getting some support from individuals. I'm also asking those who are still willing to come and even do much more in helping, ensuring that we are not headed there. I thank God because you realize that I would really appreciate the media, Jeff. I would really appreciate the media. Sometimes we castigate the media, but we do not know the role that they play. I've been into over 70 radio interviews from 2016, but I've never paid a single cent for them. And most of them are breakfast shows. A lot of articles have been written, but I've never paid a single journalist a penny, because they look at the story. So even before we castigate sometimes the media do not manufacture the stories. They bring what is there.
Again, if you want to get in touch with Fredrick, here's the website www.irpn.or.ke. www.irpn, that's Interregional Peace Network.or.ke.
Catch Jeff Koinange and Professor Hamo every day, Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on Hot 96.